Les Brown is the author of a highly acclaimed and successful book entitled Live Your Dreams. He has hosted a nationally syndicated television talk show which was focused on solutions rather than problems. He will be delivering a high-energy message that will tell all of us to shake off complacency and live up to your greatness. Join me in welcoming internationally recognized speaker and CEO, Mr. Les Brown.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's give Gary a round of applause for a wonderful introduction. And I was here this afternoon. I came over to hear Dr. Wayne Dyer, the father of motivation. Give him a tremendous round of applause for his captivating presentation. I tell you, it's a humbling experience, and you never want to come after a speaker like Wayne Dyer. And my very good friend, who has been one of my mentors, Wayne Dyer, and Jim Rowan, who's going to be speaking tomorrow. Make sure you hear him. The two of them have had just incredible influence on me, on my life, their materials, their message, and the example as icons in this industry of motivation. I'd like for you to answer a question for me. How many of you have major goals you'd like to achieve? Raise your hands, please. Very good. I'd like to ask that question because as coaches, as individuals who are committed to helping people to change their lives, we must be the message that we bring. Would you agree? Very good. Okay. So we can't tell people that they ought to have goals if we don't have them ourselves. Am I right? Very good. And the other thing is that we challenge people, would you agree with that, to raise the bar on themselves, because we believe that they can do more than what they've done thus far. Am I correct? How many of you know that if you had your life to live over again, you can do more than what you've done thus far? Raise your hands, please. Very good. Thank you for sharing that and for your honesty. Well, we're going to share some thoughts and ideas with you, but before I get into my message, I'd like to invite someone up to join me. Part of what I do, I'm known as a speaker, but my giftedness is in the area of speech coaching. I'm a speech coach. And so I brought one of my mentees with me. I have 23 students that I'm working with over the next 6 months to a year, and she lives in California and is here to be a part of the presentation. So I want you to give a round of applause to Denise Young. You'll be seeing her as part of our presentation this evening. Denise Young is a CPA and also she's a real estate developer, and she has been involved in speaking for a few months. One of the things that I do with speakers, we coach them not just over the telephone, but they travel with me at different times when their schedules permit, and we do coaching in person with them. And it's very interesting to see their growth and development. And we'll get a chance to check her out, because one of the things that you see is that when they don't do right, you can get them right then. And so I'm going to see how well she does this time, because the other day she didn't do too well. Yes, indeed. Oh, I'm a tough coach. I need to tell you, you can't be thin-skinned coming up in here. Oh, no, she knows. So she said, can I come up again? I said, we don't know. We're going to put you on the bench for a while. But we're going to see what she does with the time she has tonight. So I know y'all be sending her some energy, because she's nothing but a dot. Or nothing. But a dynamic speaker. All right. That's a joke. You heard Wayne today, right? Okay, very good. Now, I want to, first of all, recognize Jerry Shockey, because I believe that he's a visionary, I believe that he's a leader, and I believe that he's ahead of his time. A man who sees the value of bringing people together to increase their skill level, their knowledge, their abilities, their talents, to increase their capacity to serve. his commitment to help those who are serious and who care enough about their craft and care enough about the people that they're going to work with to continue to be involved in an ongoing coaching process themselves, because of the fact that they know that you can never, ever learn too much. In fact, this is the information age, but what it is that makes your role so important and this convention so important, that your success or failure in life is determined by the age of your information. That has to sink in for a moment. Einstein said, the thinking that has brought me this far has created some problems that this thinking can't solve. How many of you know coaches who should be at this convention? Raise your hands, please. Now, let me tell you why they're not here. Because they don't know that they don't know, and they think they know. See, when you don't know that you don't know and you think you know, then you don't believe that there is anything that anybody can share with you. But I'm very, very excited about the commitment that GSI has made to engage coaches in an ongoing learning process. Why? Because this is the era that Peter Drucker calls the era of the 3 C's: accelerated change, overwhelming complexity, and tremendous competition. You have to really run just to stand still today. So let's give another round of applause to Jerry Shockey for his commitment and your commitment to invest in yourself. What did I say? I said Gary? I said Jerry? Like Jerry Lewis? No, Gary. Gary Shockey. No. All right, listen. Now let me share with you why your role is so important, ladies and gentlemen. This is a brand new day. Things are changing rapidly. By the year 2005, 67% of the jobs in this country will be permanent part-time jobs with no health benefits. This is the age of what Ralph Waldo Emerson called the age of self-reliance, where people need to have coaching and assistance to help them get to the next level. There are many people that are feeling powerless, that are feeling stuck, and are frightened. Last year, over 2,000 people lost their jobs. This is a time unlike any other time in our country. Starting off a new century, post 9/11, there are periods in life. I remember seeing a movie with Denzel Washington. He said there are periods in life when it appears that time literally stands still. There's before this, and after this, and after this, nothing will ever be the same again. And we know that on the day when we saw the tragedy of 9/11, that our lives would never be the same again. So not only people are fearful about the lack of job security, there's a fear of national security, there's a fear and concern for our children's security, there's concern about our health. In the last century, 1 out of 37 Americans could expect to have cancer in their lifetime. In this century, 1 out of every 2. So these are some very challenging times. And so having some help and some coaching and some support to help you work through the storms of life is vital. It's very important. And so I want you to think about some goals you'd like to achieve right now. Because as coaches, we have to always constantly raise the bar on ourselves. We have to constantly be ahead of the people that we're helping. I remember having a board meeting with a man that I consider one of the greatest speakers on the planet. In fact, I think he's the best I've ever seen. He's a minister out of Dallas, Texas, Bishop T.D. Jakes. And when we had this board meeting, he came in and he said to those of us sitting around the table, he said, as soon as I know as much as those of you that are around this table, you're all fired. And I can tell you that as soon as your clients or your customers know as much as you know, they're going to fire you. Write this down, please. Things that coaches ought to know and ought to do. Number 1, you either expand or you are expendable. And I want to make this clear. Everything I'm going to say, you already know it. as professionals, as coaches, and as people who are part of GSI that's committed to your personal and professional empowerment, I want to make it clear that I'm not bringing you any new revelations. I want to make it clear that what I'm up to, that I'm going to only remind you of that which you already know, that which has already been taught to you by Gary and by people that I can never hold a candle to, Dr. Dyer and Jim Rohn and many other speakers. So I want to make it clear that all I'm going to do is validate and confirm that which is a part of who you are anyhow. There's no way that you would fly across country or drive or invest your money and time and be here if what I'm talking about and what GSI represent, if it wasn't a part of who you are philosophically, it wasn't a part of who you are in your heart of hearts, you would not be here. The only reason that you invested your time and energy, the only reason that you're part of this organization that's designed to help people to realize their greatness is because you are the message. That's number one. Number two, everything I'm going to say, you've heard it before, by people who can say it far more eloquently than I can, and people who have credentials and experience. I have no college training. So therefore, I want to make it clear that everything I'm going to say, not only do you already know it, you've heard it before, it's a part of the coaching, it's a part of the training, it's a part of the curriculum, and you will continue to hear it, because faith comes by hearing and hearing and hearing. And as we hear things, we hear them at different levels of consciousness, which gives us greater insight that allows us to grow into the message, into the training. The other thing is, I don't want you to agree with me, and I don't want you to believe me. I want you to think about some major goals that's important to you, and I'm going to share with you some things that I've learned along the way, some experiences that I've had. I'll also share with you some things that have worked out. Why will you do that? Well, I don't let a bald-headed person tell me how to grow hair, or a fat person tell me how to lose weight, or a broke person tell me how to make some money. I will never tell you how to keep your marriage together. I don't know anything about that. I was in the airport. A lady said, "Mr. Brown?" I said, "Yes." She said, "I read your book, It's Not Over Till I Win, and it changed my life." I said, "Thank you very much." And as I was about to walk away, she said, "Oh, and by the way, it changed my children's lives." I said, "Thank you so much." And people were shaking my hand and recognizing me for the work that I've done. And she said, "Oh, one other thing." I said, "Yes." She said, "And your book saved my marriage." I said, "It did?" I said, "It didn't do nothing for me." I said, "What page were you on?" I said, "In fact, give me my book back." So you get my book, It's Not Over Till You Win, the section on relationships, tear the pages out, tear the pages out. I don't know anything about that. Well, you know, life is interesting. You know, my mother, she was a very powerful woman, used to take us to church all the time, and I was working on my notes, and I just had to think about her. I was thinking about her because of the fact that when I would go to church with Mama, every Sunday they would say, the senior citizens, "I want to thank the Lord for waking me up in my right mind this morning." And I would ask naively, "Mama, why y'all say that every Sunday?" She said, "Boy, if you live long enough, you would find out why." I went in the room to look for something the other day. I got in there, and I couldn't remember what I was looking for. I came out the room, remembered what I was looking for, Ricard, went back in the room, found it, then I couldn't remember why I was looking for it. So my oldest daughter said, "Daddy, you need some ginkgo biloba." I went to GNC health food store. I was walking around. The lady said, "May I help you?" I said, "I forgot why I'm here." She said, "You need some ginkgo biloba." I bought the ginkgo biloba. I took it home. Now I can't remember where I put it. So when I woke up this morning, I said, "I want to thank the Lord for waking me up in my right mind this morning." I had dinner with some of the members of GSI, and I was sitting next to Kathy, and she said, I mentioned that February 17th, I'll be 59. And she said, "Oh, you look so young." I said, "Oh, you get all your tapes free." She said, "You look 35. Well, because of prayer, meditation, I'm a vegetarian, and mascara, I look much younger than my age. There's some situations where I do wear my gray hair, especially when I speak at colleges and universities. My daughter said to me, "Daddy, you ought to wear your gray hair." And I said, "Why, baby?" She said, "It makes you look distinguished." I said, "Well, at 59, I'm not trying to look distinguished. I'm trying to look young." So she said, you need to stop using mascara because you're going to use it in your mustache, your beard, and on your forehead, and you're going to be up sweating, and it's going to start dripping down your face. Well, something more embarrassing happened. I was speaking in the Georgia Dome for a friend of mine, Dexter Yeager, and over 82,000 people gave a speech called It's Not Over Till You Win. And at the end of the speech, somebody from the Department of Commerce, they were there, and they said, Mr. Brown, our speaker canceled at the last minute. Do you have enough energy to give another speech? And I said, no, I'm tired. They said, but we can pay your full fee of $20,000. I said, the Lord is able. I said, he'll give you what you want when you need it. You know, people say money won't make you happy, but everybody want to find out for themselves. A friend of mine named Rita Davenport said that money ain't important, but it's right up there with oxygen. And let me tell you something, fellas, even if you're as homeless as I am, if you got some money, women will find something cute on you. Oh, honey, he walked like Tom Cruise. Got earlobes like Denzel Washington. I used to be so broke I walked past a bank and tripped the alarm. Creditors would call the house and my children would answer the phone and say, my daddy say he ain't home. Poverty sucks, you hear me? Repeat after me, please. I'll never be broke again. Never. Never. Yeah, Red Fox, the money can't buy you happiness, but can make a big down payment. I tickled myself. I told Gary to give me my medication before I came up here. He said, oh, you don't need it. Whatever. Oh, behave. Okay, I'm going to be good, I promise. Okay. I told her to give me my medication. Okay. All right. What a job, Lord, if I'm dreaming. Please don't wake me up. Okay. All right. I'm having me a good time. Can y'all tell I enjoy this? Oh, I enjoy this, honey. Yes, I do. All right. I want you to think about some major goals you'd like to achieve. I want you to think about something that's important to you. And I want you to shake someone's hand on your right and left and look them in the eyes and say, you have the power to do that. Do that quickly, please. Say, you have the power to do that. You have the power to do that. Whatever goal you have in your mind, I want you to know you have the power to do that. Now shake someone's hand on your right and left, look them in the eyes and say goodbye. Do that quickly, please. Just say goodbye. Very good. Now, the reason I had you to do that, in fact, I did that before one audience, and a newly married couple said, hey, we just got married. Oliver Wendell Holmes said that once a man's or woman's mind has been expanded with an idea or a concept, it can never be satisfied to going back to where it was. And as coaches, as facilitators, as agents of change in helping people to view their lives with new eyes, that because of their relationship with you, because of the curriculum that you're going to be exposed to, the training, the certification of becoming master coaches, because of your commitment and the standards that you've held yourself to, and receiving the kind of education and certification that Gary has designed, that the people that you come in contact with will never be the same again. They'll be born of a new state of consciousness, a new level of awareness. So I want to ask you to think about some major goals that will really challenge you right now. Something that gives your life a sense of meaning, a sense of value. Might be a personal goal or professional goal, or some social commitment you'd like to make with your life. Horace Mann said we should be ashamed to die until we've made some major contribution to humankind. My first major goal was to buy my mother a home. That was important to me. I was born in an abandoned building on a floor with a twin brother in a poor section of Miami, Florida called Liberty City. We were 6 weeks of age. We were adopted. When I was in the 5th grade, I was identified as EMR, labeled educable mentally retarded, put back from the 5th grade into the 4th grade. Failed again when I was in the 8th grade. I don't have any college training, but because of my mama, and I feel like Abraham Lincoln, who said, all that I am and all that I ever hope to be, I owe to my mother. My goal was to take care of my mother, and I did that. My goal was to buy a home for my mother. I bought her 4 homes altogether before she passed at 28, passed at 88. Now, at this stage of my life, my goals have changed. Mama died 7 years ago. When I was a kid, my goal was not only just to take care of Mama and to buy her a home, my goal was to buy food for our family, because we ate the leftover food from the families that Mama cooked for on Miami Beach. As a kid, my goal was to buy clothes for my brothers and sisters, because we wore the hand-me-down clothes of the children that Mama kept. As a kid, I fantasized and dreamed about becoming a millionaire. Because when I was a little boy, there used to be a program on television called The Millionaire. How many of you remember that program, The Millionaire? John Beresford Tifton. Hi, my name is Michael Anthony. I have a check for $1 million to give it to families at random. Whenever that program would go off and somebody would come to the door, I would be the first one to run to the door. My mama said, where you going? I said, I thought that was a man with a check. She said, fool, if he had $1 million in Overtown, he'd get robbed before he get here. I don't know what your goals are. Let us say together, with power, feeling, and conviction, it's possible. Together, please. No, just say it's possible. He said it's possible together. No, just say it's possible. Say it's possible. Say it again. Yeah, see, ladies and gentlemen, I think that whatever you're doing, whatever you're venturing out on doing, whatever you want to achieve in life, and the people that you work with, one of the first things that you have to do as a coach is let them know that whatever they're seeking, what changes they're seeking in their lives, what is it that they want to have a breakthrough on, what it is they want to experience or accomplish, the only thing that can help get the coaching process going, and the only reason that you can get them to stay in this game called life and focus their energy and their time and their talents and their abilities, is because of your ability to convince them that it's possible that they can do it. And I think that that goes for us, that what we achieve, what we produce in life, is a reflection of what we subconsciously believe that we can achieve. So selling yourself on that every day, selling